In the profound silence of our cellular architecture, a transformation is occurring that defies every textbook ever written. When we say scientists have admitted they were wrong, we aren't talking about a minor correction. We are talking about a total demolition of the mechanical human myth. For centuries, since the time of René Descartes, we viewed the body and mind as separate entities, the ghost in the machine. We believed that the brain was the sole commander, a lonely general sending one-way orders to a submissive body. But the new frontier of science, the one being whispered about in the corridors of the Salk Institute and Max Planck, society paints a far more radical picture. We now know that every cell in your body is thinking. We are not a hierarchy. We are a decentralized intelligence network, an organic internet where every node is as vital as the server. Let's expand our lens to the concept of the second brain and beyond. Scientists have finally admitted that the enteric nervous system in your gut isn't just for digestion. It is a complex web of over 100 million neurons that produces 95% of your body's serotonin. When you feel butterflies or a sinking feeling of dread, that isn't just a metaphor. It is your biological hardware processing reality before your conscious top brain even has a chance to formulate a word. This admission changes everything. It means that your intuition is a form of high-speed data processing. If you have spent your life suppressing your gut feelings in favor of cold logic, you have been ignoring half of your cognitive power. The science of 2026 is teaching us that to be truly intelligent is to synchronize these two brains, creating a state of coherence where the signal-to-noise ratio of your life finally clarifies. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper into the world of biofields. For decades, any scientist mentioning energy fields around the human body was dismissed as a mystic. Yet, with the advent of ESQ-UID magnetometers and hypersensitive biophoton detectors, the scientific community has had to backtrack. They have admitted that the human heart produces an electromagnetic field that extends several feet outside the body. This isn't New Age philosophy. It is measurable physics. Your energy is a real physical broadcast. When you walk into a room and feel the vibe, you are literally picking up on the electromagnetic induction of the people around you. We are not isolated islands of flesh. We are broadcasting stations. This realization forces us to rethink the philosophy of connection. If our fields overlap, then my state of mind physically influences your biological state. Responsibility for one's own consciousness is no longer just a moral suggestion, it is a public health necessity. Consider the hard problem of consciousness. The old guard of science insisted that consciousness was an emergent property, something that just happens when you get enough neurons together like steam rising from a kettle. But they are admitting the math doesn't add up. Leading physicists like Sir Roger Penrose have suggested that consciousness might be rooted in the quantum vibrations of microtubules within our neurons. If this is true, then your mind isn't just in your head. It is connected to the fundamental fabric of space-time. This is the ultimate wow moment. You are not a creature living in a universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through a localized biological lens. The stress you feel about your daily life, the anxiety of the future, these are localized glitches in a system that is, at its core, infinite. When you tap into this quantum thinking, you move from a state of survival to a state of creation. Now let's address the illusion of aging and decay. The old science said our telomeres, the caps on our DNA, simply wear down until we die. But the discovery of telomerase and the impact of subjective age on biology has flipped the script. Scientists have observed that individuals who perceive themselves as younger, who maintain a beginner's mind and constant intellectual curiosity, actually have slower cellular aging. Your perception of time literally dictates your rate of biological decay. By maintaining the mind spark, that flame of curiosity, you are sending a chemical signal to your cells that says, we are still exploring. Do not shut down the systems yet. You are not a victim of the clock. You are the one who winds it. We must also talk about the default mode network, DMN, of the brain. This is the part of your brain that is active when you are daydreaming or thinking about yourself. Scientists used to think this was idle time. They were wrong. The DMN is where your narrative self, your ego, is constructed. High levels of activity in the DMN are associated with depression and rumination. The twist here is that by practicing states of flow or deep meditation, you can temporarily deactivate this network. In that silence, the brain undergoes a massive reboot. This is why your best ideas come in the shower or during a walk. When you stop trying to be you, the quantum intelligence of the rest of the system can finally speak. The secret to genius isn't more effort, it is more space. Imagine your life as a series of frequencies. In the old scientific paradigm, you were a fixed note. In the new paradigm, you are a symphony. You have the ability to change your frequency through entrainment. If you surround yourself with high-level ideas, complex philosophy, and resonant people, your biology will literally synchronize with that higher state. This is why MindSpark Science exists, to provide the frequency that catalyzes your next leap. We are moving away from the era of information and into the era of transformation. It is no longer enough to know. We must become. Let's reflect on the philosophy of the void in physics. We used to think of a vacuum as empty. Now we know it is a zero-point field teeming with energy. The same applies to your moments of emptiness or failure. When you feel like you have nothing left, you are actually at the point of maximum potential. It is only when the old structures of your identity collapse that the vacuum of your potential can be filled with something new. Scientists are admitting that the empty space in an atom is 99.99% of its reality. Therefore, you are mostly empty space. But that space isn't nothing. It is the field of all possibilities. You are more potential than you are matter. As we integrate these truths, the gut-brain connection, the heart's electromagnetic field, the quantum nature of thought, and the plasticity of DNA, we see a new human emerging. This human is not afraid of being wrong, because they realize that being wrong is simply the act of shedding a smaller skin for a larger one. The scientists who admitted they were wrong are the heroes of this story because they chose truth over ego. Can you do the same in your own life? Can you admit that the version of yourself you've been protecting is too small? Too small for the reality you've discovered today? This is the invitation. To live as a conscious participant in your own evolution. To recognize that your stress is actually energy looking for a new direction. To see your weakness as the softness required for growth. We are at a point in history where science and spirituality are finally speaking the same language. Using terms like resonance, frequency, and coherence to describe the same miraculous experience of being alive. The Mind Spark is not something I give to you. It is something I am helping you remember you already have. You are the observer, the observed, and the process of observation itself. As we wrap up this journey through the frontiers of the new science, remember that the most important laboratory in the world is the one between your ears and the one inside your chest. Don't just take these words as information. Test them in the crucible of your own life. Observe your thoughts as if they were scientific data. Treat your emotions as chemical signals with profound meaning. Watch how your reality shifts when you stop treating yourself like a machine and start treating yourself like a living, breathing field of energy. The scientists of the future won't just look through telescopes or microscopes. They will look inward. Thank you for being part of this intellectual odyssey here at MindSpark Science. If you've made it this far, you are among the few who are ready to bridge the gap between biological fact and philosophical truth. Your journey doesn't end when the video stops. It begins when you take this perspective into your world. If you found this deep dive valuable, please support the channel by hitting the like button and sharing this video. Share with one person who needs to know that their limits are an outdated scientific theory. Subscribe to join our growing network of thinkers and explorers as we continue to decode the mysteries of neurobiology, psychology, and the quantum mind. Click the bell icon so you never miss a spark of insight. What part of your old self are you ready to admit was wrong? Let's discuss the philosophy of change in the comments below. Stay grounded in science, stay elevated in thought, and as always, keep the spark alive. Would you like me to create a deep dive analysis on the biophoton emission theory and how our bodies literally glow in the dark?